Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire, Fight Store and Our Kings. Eddie Hearn, good show tonight. Edgar Berlanga, first round knockout. Impressive debut from Omari Jones, he looks brilliant. And look, Ammo Williams, I think in possibly a bit of an acid test. I think he was very underrated coming into this fight, Volney, but he got through it and impressive victories.
Yeah, I mean, I think Edgar, he's not going to get credit for that win because Gonzalez comes in and, don't look like he's in shape. People don't quite know the full story, but he can fight. But Edgar looked very heavy-handed, and Edgar did what you should do when you're a level above someone. Go and smash them to pieces and do it early. And, the punching display was really impressive in that fight. Omari Jones really is the full package, like from the way he looks, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, the way he represents his city and, and his people, and the way he fights. Like, he's an incredible talent. And, that kid, the opponent, again, from the outside, it'll be, easy opposition. Not really. Like, he was quite experienced, the kid. He's been here all week. I've been seeing that kid in the gym. He's been so pumped for this fight. His family's here, his promotional team. And the only thing you worry about when someone debuts, he sold like 700 tickets tonight, Omari. The place was going mad for him. It's just the composure. And he's really cool and calm, Omari. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's now going to jump on the April 12th Boots card in Atlantic City, which is just turned into a fantastic card. And he's a tremendous talent. And I'm very proud of Ammo. I think that was a real coming-of-age performance. Like, sometimes Ammo is quite raw and crude with his work because he's quite inexperienced. And I thought that was a mature performance tonight. Also going the 12 rounds. There's a difference between quality conditioning, because the old Ammo would have faded in that fight and he might even have got stopped because he got hit. He got buzzed a couple of times late, and, Volney's a good fighter. Volney's a really good fringe world level guy. And that's what Ammo's overcome. And when you look at the middleweight division, I don't really see a lot in terms of contenders. So I think he's right up there.
There was a moment just before you and Ammo walked out. I've just spoke to him about it. I didn't know if you were praying or what was happening, but your head was together. He says, no, Eddie was just talking to me about the journey. Is it quite nice seeing sort of how far he's come, not just as a fighter, but as a man as well? He's evolving.
I really liked Ammo's, his speeches are wild. I talk a lot. He's on another level. And in the ring after the fight, I think one thing he said, which was really fitting to his situation, is, look, my journey's really not been perfect. Like, I'm not undefeated. But let's be honest, everybody in this room, who is undefeated in life? Like, it just nothing's perfect. And his career, his life has really not been perfect. I think when you've seen up close what really happened to Ammo Williams, he won't mind me saying, but he lost his mind. Completely. Like, to a point where you could not have a conversation with him. Like, it was that bad. And it was, we were worried about him. I really felt like he would take his own life. That's how I felt about the situation. And he went to Los Angeles, and myself and Peter Berg and Sam, who manage him, we were talking all the time. And it's very difficult when I'm in the UK, Ammo's all over America, and he was in LA, and I said to Pete Berg, Pete, we've got to do something. Pete did such a great job. Like, he went out, he got hold of him, and he took him in to get help, proper help. This is not like just going to have a chat with someone. This is proper help. And I never expected in a million years he would be back in the boxing world after that. I just thought to myself, you've got to get him safe. You've got to make sure he don't do anything stupid, and just get him the help he needs and get him through this terrible period in his life. Yeah. And he did it, and he went there, and he came out. And, and when he came out the other side, it hasn't been plain sailing for him. He's had some bereavements in the family. He's a real deep, intellectual, far out character, Ammo. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But he really does have the purest soul, and he has a big heart. And I just want to see him do well. You see him now, he's got his missus, she's pregnant. Like he said to me in there, he's like, I'm going to be a dad in 5 weeks. I'm like, mate, I can't believe Ammo is going to be a dad, you know. And now it just adds something different to his life and what he's fighting for. Because I think a lot of the time, Ammo Williams was just lost, you know. And I think now he kind of sees it all coming together, you know. He's got his place where he's living now, and it's like he's settled, because he was like in Houston, he was in Canada, he was in LA, he was like all over the place. Camp's working with Kevin Cunningham, you know, he's got a baby on the way, you know, he's got a good win tonight, he's making money, he's like, you know, it's like life's coming together, you know, and sometimes life can just spiral out of control, and you just need it to come together, and I feel like that's what's happening for Ammo now. So he's like a bit of a personal project of mine, where I want to see him right, and I want to see him do well, and I really believe a shot at the middleweight world title will come this year. Whether he can win it, he's going to have to be better. You know, I do believe that Ammo is a world-class middleweight, but he's got to make improvements if he's going to go in there and beat a Lara or an Adames or a Yanni Beck or those kind of guys. But for now, tonight was just about get that win against Bolney. Now you can move on into bigger paydays and better opportunities. And I think he'll stay on it now. I think, you know, he seems to have good support at home. You know, his partner is a fighter, you know, and he was saying in the ring, she's going to be a world champion, and she's a good fighter, you know, and she's obviously got him on the straight and narrow as well. But like I said, like, he is a very good-hearted man, and, you know, I'm really pleased for him.
I spoke to him the week, and he was talking about all this, and I just said, look, regardless of what you achieve in boxing, you're winning in life. You know, you've been through hell and back, so it's nice to see.
I think that, to be honest, like, the main thing I want for him is to make sure that he's financially secure, because I think mental health, all that kind of stuff, park that to the side. Being financially secure is going to help you solve a lot of problems, you know, and especially with a family. So now, you know, I had a conversation earlier with Diego Pacheco, you know, another fighter that I've had from 17, you know, from his professional debut, and he's same position, you know, got a kid, and he's more advanced than Ammo, and he's been number one in the world for a while. But, you know, I just said to him, like, I just want to see Diego bank money, bank money, bank money. You know, obviously that comes with risk, and as you step up the opponents, but like, that for me is one of the most pleasing parts of the job. Now, I want to see Ammo with a lovely house in Palm Beach in Florida, you know, with his kids running around. And so when he leaves boxing, he can say, "Carl, look what boxing gave me." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, hopefully there's a world championship on the wall. But if there's not, there's a house paid for, and there's his kids in education that he wants, and, you know, he's good. And not many people leave the sport with that. So everyone you can help do that is a nice feeling. One
that you have helped is obviously Edgar Berlanga. Do you think he does further business with you, talks to the Caleb plant? Would it be easier for him to just go to PBC himself? Does he do it with your backing? Is there talks?
Yeah, I mean, he can do whatever he wants, really. I mean, I'm probably biased. Like, I know what I do for fighters, and I know how I feel about fighters. I would want me in my corner, behind me. You know, I wouldn't want to go into a fight on PBC against a PBC fighter that is super tight with Heyman and DeCubas. That's Caleb Plant. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, if I do the deal, I'm going to want to get paid. And maybe he thinks I ain't going to pay Eddie Hearn for his services. Do you know what I mean? But I'll also drive the money up, and I'll give you another customer with our broadcaster. And there might be another bidder in the Middle East. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think that I get on well with Edgar. We had a good chat after the fight, and like I said to him when I got in the ring, I went, actually not a bad night's work, was it? Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't mind one of those every month, would you? And yeah, it's good vibes, actually. Good vibes.
I've got to ask you a few more. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Seeing reports, on boxing, seeing Callum Smith being touted for Benavidez or David Morrell. What can you tell me about that? I think either of them are banging fights.
Yeah, we had a conversation about the David Morrell fight. If I'm honest, and I know that it's a good fight, right? And I know that it is, but why would we fight David Morrell? Like, you know, and I know the fans might, oh yeah, but it's a good fight. So, but I'm just telling you, like, honestly, because Why would, if I'm Callum Smith, I've just beat Boatsy, I'm the WBO interim world champion, I'm mandatory for Dimitri Bivol at some point. Why would I fight Morrell, who just lost to Benavidez, who don't bring a whole lot to the table? And it is a tough fight. I rate Morrell, do you know what I mean? But so you've got to pay me the money. If you want to fight for the WBO interim world championship and you want to fight Callum Smith, we'll fight Morrell. But what are we fighting for? Money. And Callum Smith's not really like that, if I'm honest. I mean, Callum Smith's made a lot of money. And what he wants is, he wants a shot at the World Championship. But if you want Callum Smith to fight Anthony Yard, or you want him to fight David Morrell, then you've got to pay him. Simple. If not, we're fine. We'll wait our turn to fight for the World Championship. Maybe we'll have a show in Liverpool, in the meantime. But Callum's in a great position. No, he's just had a very tough fight. So no tearing rush. Really good position.
Turki Alalshikhs come out and said there'll be a surprise promoter for Canelo Crawford. We're all assuming it's Dana White. Have you heard anything on the back end of that and what potentially is?
I think that's going to be a good event to launch TKO promotions. I mean, obviously, it's not their show. It's Turki's show. He's paid for it all and he's done the deal. But they can promote like we promote Riyadh season shows, and Frank does the Riyadh season shows in Riyadh. TKO will be doing this event, I presume. I don't know that for a fact, but I think it's pretty obvious. And I think it's going to be interesting. Like, obviously, everybody hears everything, and I've had 12 fighters, maybe not 12, 8, 10 fighters, who have come to me and told me that TKO are trying to sign them for the league. And it's interesting, the mix of fighters,
What's your sort of response to being to them when you explore it, or what is it?
Because they're not the lower level fighters, lower names. Some are prospects, some are guys with a few losses on their record. So I think for those guys, it's a brilliant opportunity. I mean, why wouldn't you sign up? Because if you're talking about ownership, and the league may be those contracts. Maybe. I mean, obviously the Muhammad Ali Act is different in boxing, and that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But if you have no problem with really doing with whatever you're told, well, I think that's a bit harsh. But what you sign up for, because it's not, when you sign up to a contract, it's not doing as you're told. It's doing what you signed up for, what you agreed. Yeah. So, and if you're one of those fighters, they don't care who they fight. They don't care what they wear. They don't care what they'll just say. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Give me my money and I'll fight anyone. And that's what Dana and those guys are used to. But and it's not right that it's not like that, but it's just like that in boxing. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like I agree with their model, but it's never going to happen in boxing. Yeah, I wish I had that model. I wish I had UFC. For matchroom boxing, right? Where I could just go, right, mate, you're fighting you. Quiet, get on with it. And by the way, you've got to wear these logos. You're not allowed to wear that. You're not allowed to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Off you go. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Because everyone, every MMA fighter wants to be in UFC. Yeah. And they'll sign up like that to a contract that someone else might look at and go, I'm not signing that, which is what the boxers would do. Mm-hmm. And they're not just the boxers, the managers, the agents,
Look, two more I've got to ask you. I watched the Piers Morgan thing with Eubank and Ben. Brilliant really entertainment. Good, yeah. I saw some of the comments and the backlash from that, the usual comments about testing stuff. Simon Jordans put on it, he quote tweeted it and put, freak show of a fight, meaningless, no substance. The boys will both get paid, could have had world title shots, but they prefer to get paid prize fighting, though I guess the only prize is that prize fools the public are buying into this circus. What?
I mean, I don't know what the circus is and what you're a fool to buy into. It's a really good fight. It's a 50-50 fight between two guys that are world ranked in their division. I mean, he's making out like neither of them have ever boxed before. They're both useless. It's a mismatch. It's not. It's a 50-50 fight between two world ranked fighters who, by the way, fathers happen to be Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank, who had the biggest rivalry ever in British boxing, and, by the way, whose sons now have, by far, the biggest rivalry in British boxing, that is venomous, that is violent. So, what are you talking about? Simon Jordan is so sick as a parrot that this fight is happening, and both kids are making millions upon millions upon millions upon millions, and he's sick as a dog because he can't handle it. That's the fact. He's not stupid. He understands demand. He understands narrative. He understands storyline. But don't talk about the fight like the couple of misfits people. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't. Is he moaning about, I don't know, KSI against Dylan Dennis? I mean, what is that? Is that Circus, or is that an established championship bout? I mean, like, I don't know. You talk about a real boxing match between two world-ranked fighters. Like, and by the way, if the public are fools, there's 65,000 of them, and the public aren't fools. They're just getting ready for what will be a fucking great fight and a brilliant night. So stop being so miserable. And don't worry about it. I mean, he might not, because it might just pain him, but otherwise he'd be phoning up begging for a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
I've got to ask you, Jack Catterall, what's next for him? You've said stay ready. Obviously, yeah. New York. Is there when you say that, I sort of read into it that you're not convinced everyone makes that card. Do you know what? Are you?
Sam Jones messages me all the time, right? Yeah. He messaged me 2 days after Jack Catterall lost. What's next for Jack? What's next? It's like, mate. And now we're getting to a point where it's a month after. So now we actually have to start having those conversations and planning. And Sam actually had a conversation with Frank Smith, and Sam went, well, I'm getting Jack in the gym, getting ready for May 2nd. And I sort of went, no, that's not like... And then I thought about it, and I actually thought it's pretty smart, really, because Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, Rolly Romero, right? I mean, anything's possible. I do think they're all on so much money that I'm sure they'll fight. But away from the madness, injuries, anything. And Catterall's the kind of guy that would get, if he was fit and ready, he'd get the gig straight away. Failing that, the back end of the summer, we're going to headline with him again in Manchester in a big fight at 140 because, he lost a razor-thin decision to Barboza that he could have won. And I think he'll kick himself because he should have won it. But Jack will be back 100%.
Eddie, appreciate it. Thank you.